Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex. Before we start, smash that like button, share, subscribe, and whatnot. Got any comments, concerns, leave them down below, and we'll get back with you. I was notified by the show that I did last night on how that really wasn't real and whatnot. I still stand on everything that I said and whatnot. I still stand on everything that I said. Man, this Kansas and Arkansas game is something, boy. Them boys in Kansas got to give it to them. They ain't quitting. But I still stand on everything I said about Nate Hackett. I don't know if that was true. I said, but they were saying some different guys in the media kind of made that up and everything like that. But you got to think that's how the consensus feel. Okay, that's how the consensus feel. And whether or not Nate Hackett was pocket watching or not, everybody else is pocket watching. What you pocket watching for? If they felt as though that man wasn't going to get that money, they wouldn't have gave him the money. But they gave it to him. Oh, man, it's 38-38. Man, Kansas, man, that game should have been over. Them boys playing ball. This is a good game, man. Now it's going to go into overtime, probably. If Arkansas don't do something. Arkansas, they've been the defense took the night off. But they pocket watching. In the end, it's pocket watching. He don't supposed to get that money. He don't supposed to get that. He's supposed to do this, that. He's supposed to be saying, what did I tell you? It's funny. I was watching a Silver Unrest or whatever it's called. It was something on ESPN or whatever talking about the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers and the different things that they had going on their teams during those World Series runs back in between 77 and 81 and different things. But the Reggie Jackson thing has been documented, how him and Billy Martin and all this back and forth, and stuff like that. But it's funny to me that the fact that, they just covered the onside. Oh, that's another. That they documented all that stuff and what was being said and how everything went on at that particular time and whatnot. Reggie Jackson came to a team that was championship built. They just needed that one player. And that team, they had been together for some time, had some great players on that team, whether it was Lou Pinella, Craig Nello, Goose Goss, Thurman Munson, plethora of players and whatnot that played on that team. And Reggie Jackson, as said, the straw that stirred the drink. He was that missing piece that they had. They won 2 championships back to back. I've asked, haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen any of my other things. Nobody else has come up with it. Show me where all they needed was him. Show me. That's all I'm trying. That's all I'm trying to figure out is where was it and where you. So you're coming in with a quarterback who has earned his bones, earned his stripes, coming off of a Pro Bowl, his first losing season in the league. You had some of your great quarterbacks that had losing seasons. That's his first one. Now he's a bum. Now he's this. Now he's all these other different adjectives that they're laying to him. But in the meantime, they're worried about his contract. They're worried about this. They're worried about that. Now, don't worry about all that. But it's a consensus of people out there that think he's this and he's that. Again, like I said, show me anywhere where they just needed him, where that team was championship ready. It's not. They haven't been to the playoffs in 7 freaking years, man. And this will be the second year, unfortunately, for Russell Wilson that he doesn't go to the playoffs. I've seen it with other players. People don't talk about how Drew Brees didn't make the playoffs for had 7 losing seasons in the 18 or 19 years that he played. Nobody talks about it, but like I said, that's why he's not on the Mount Rushmore. It's hard to put him on the Mount Rushmore, but up there with the rest of them guys, no. Won a lot of games, give him that, but he had 6 or 7 years where he didn't have a winning record. But that's not spoke about at all. So it is what it is. But that's not, again, nobody says anything about that. So, but where is this championship team that Denver Broncos were supposed to have? They don't have one. So this really doesn't surprise me what went on. Doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Let's look at it this way here. And y'all can act like I'm coming with a conspiracy theory with this. It's all facts I'm spitting right here. It's 2020 season. Losing season, unfortunately, for that of the Dallas Texans. Dallas, Texans. Houston Texans, I think that's what they call, and whatnot. And Deshaun Watson had a good year. He went to the Pro Bowl and whatnot, but they still lost. He was the few games they won, that was it. They didn't have anything. He got tired of, like I said, they dismantled this team after having 3 seasons of double-digit wins with him at the helm at quarterback. But nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that whatsoever. I'm like, okay then. And he asked for help. As soon as he asked for help, a couple of weeks later, he's a serial rapist. He hasn't done any jail time. Ain't doing a jail time. Played a shitload of money and basically was out of football for 2 years. And Cleveland expect for him to do this, that, and the other. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. So since it doesn't work that way, I'm like, okay, he had that. Russell Wilson coming off of a 12-4 year, 2020, winning the West, NFC West. What happened? Oh, well, he blah, 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 blah. He asked for more input in play calling, and we need some more players because they started off extremely hot. They were one of the hottest teams that year, if you remember. And they got sluggish and whatnot, and they stumbled to that of a 12-4 record. And I think they got tossed out in the first round. Now, so he asked for that, and all of a sudden, after he's won Man of the Year and he's done all these different things that he's done, then all of a sudden, Russell Wilson is trade bait. They're talking about trade. He went through the whole 2021 season of that hanging around his head because he asked for help. Okay. Forward up a little bit. Now you got later on, you have now Kyler Murray. Because as I'm going to tell y'all, Cliff Kingsbury is gone. He's gone. And it'd be nice to see Sean Payton go over there with a talent like Kyler Murray. And I'm drawing up plays right there. Somewhere along the line, all of a sudden, in his contract, so he's like, okay, now ain't give me no contract. Okay, forget it, fine. Disastrous play that he had against the Rams. I mean, he ran for his life. And like I said, he don't play defense. So, come on. So what do we do here? He deletes all this stuff, social media, had anything to do with the Arizona Cardinals and stuff like that, Phoenix Cardinals, whatever they call, and all this kind of stuff that goes on. And then he's the bad guy. Now he's up there playing in the contract. You got to be in the film room. They said, the film room was what got him. I already did a show about that. So now he's the bad guy because he did that. Like I said, I don't think these guys should even be on social media during the time they play. But this is where we at now. I stay in a place where not right around the corner. I remember when Dennis Scott had his meltdown. He wanted Orlando to pay him or something like that while he's playing gangster rap music and whatnot and all that. And what back in 90, that should have been like 92, 93, I believe. And he's sitting up there having a meltdown about getting money and all this other type of stuff. So it is what it is. But I find it ironic that, so in the social media age, he does that. He's disgruntled. He's a brat, da-da-da. That later on, earlier this year, the whole thing supposedly told Kingsbury to calm down. But Kingsbury looks like he probably plays Call of Duty with Kyler Murray. He doesn't strike me as a taskmaster, as a coach that gets into these guys' asses and stuff like that. So you lose your team, but they don't have any respect for you. You're too busy trying to be one of the boys. Trying to be one of the boys and whatnot. So it's going in OT. And so that's funny to me. So then that's not true, this, that, and the other. But you gotta remember one thing about somebody like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's used to winning. And I read an article where he basically, all the shit with Sumlin and Johnny Manziel and all the culture that they built around there and whatnot, how them guys kind of felt entitled. And it was, I say, a lot of players. You go back to Troy Aikman, how he was lost his shit on the sidelines one time, and head coaches won't say this and coaches won't say that about players they play in Bush League and shit like that. That's exactly how Kyler Murray felt. Now, Troy Aikman does it, but he can say that, because based upon the fact that he already won 3 championships. So I guess he can say that. But it's the same thing. It's like these guys ain't playing well. That was when the whole thing with Kevin Summerlin and whatnot. And that's why Kyler Murray left. He leaves, goes over there with Lincoln Riley, sits out and whatnot, wins a championship, wins the Big 12 and whatnot, and get to the playoffs. Them guys looking for a coach, man. A coach that they can definitely respect. And I don't think old boy has that at all, which is why he's going to be gone after the season. Because I said he'd have to at least get to the AFC Championship in order to keep his job, and they didn't even come close to that this year. Okay? So that's happened with him. Lamar Jackson, they didn't sign Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has missed some games, 2 or 3 games and whatnot. They should be able to slide into I think they already made the playoffs or whatever, but almost there. And that's what we see what happens with him getting paid and stuff like that. That's a great thing I like about him. He don't put his business out there in the street. He ain't even talking about the stuff no more. Now, we have all of that at the helm right there. And talking about he doesn't deserve that. He don't know what he's doing. He's this, he's that, or whatever. Okay, here we go with this. Dak Prescott don't supposed to get this, that, and the other. Yet you got these quarterbacks. I had somebody in the comment section. I can't remember my man's name. I'm talking about why did I say something about Justin Herbert? I tell you what, take Justin Herbert's first 3 years and compare it with Dak Prescott. I'll wait. I will wait. Matter of fact, take his first 3 years and put him there with possibly Kyler Murray. I'll wait again. I will wait. You follow what I'm saying? So it's like, and we can go on. We can keep playing that. We can keep playing that game, that scenario, and all that kind of stuff like that. But I don't hear nothing from them other people. They get a free ride. Nobody says anything about them. Philly's still bitching and complaining. Y'all got bust on the fucking 3rd and 3rd. The game should have been over with, correct? Instead, Dak throws a dime, like I talked about last night, to T.Y. Hilton. Now, having said that, yes, guys got to win. Guys got to do that. I'm not excusing any of that stuff from them guys. But why is it when these black quarterbacks voice their opinions about, hey, we need to do this, that, and the other, they're villainized? Look it up. They're villainized. These guys, I asked for help and can I call some plays? I think I've earned that. No. We getting ready to get rid of you. Go look it up if I'm lying. And I know I'm speaking facts. And this is what happens. So he's the bad guy now. Kyler Murray's a bad. Now he's a spoiled brat. He's this, he's that. It was never nothing about this kid's character. Now all of a sudden, because he sees things the way it is, he knows how he's supposed to be coached. He knows what gets at him. He knows the play call. That ain't right. These guys have played enough football. I say, that shit ain't going to work. Then that defense, we can't do this. We can't do that. We need to call this. What are you looking at? Villainized. Now here we have Derek Carr, who gets benched. Derek Carr leaves Raiders after being benched, after throwing 3 picks and whatnot. Solid quarterback and whatnot, but never should have got that money until after his 3rd or 4th year. Shouldn't have even got that type of money. What does he do? He wants to be excused from the team. I already told y'all Josh McDaniels some garbage as a coach anyway, but I don't think anybody hears me on that one. So Carr basically is quitting, which goes back to the thing that I don't like in college football about the portal. Soon as you lose your position, I thought this was about competition. It is getting insane. You know how many different quarterbacks in the NFL that has played this game have gotten benched and had to sit there and take it? Craig Moore ended up losing his job to that after basically taking the team to the Super Bowl. Loses his job to that of Roger Staubach. Leaves and ends up a few years later taking them to play against the Cowboys, even though they got beat. But he took them a very good Denver Broncos football team to a Super Bowl. It happens, man. It happens. It's a game of competition. Dudes lose their position every day. But nobody talks about that. And this guy here, he's going to call us quits or whatever. I don't want to do it no, or whatever he called himself saying. So it's interesting on how one side is treated as opposed to the other side. This is not okay. Not to me. This is not okay for someone to basically get to a particular point where they're losing their position. And I'm like, well, shit, you know what? Win them 15 games. You may as well go on with them and finish up the last two because y'all ain't going nowhere. Well, let's look at Stidham. I don't know what you're going to see. What is 2 games going to show you? Nothing. If it was 6 or 7 games, different story. And we'll see, though. But these other guys get knocked around and talked about, drugged down, and they shouldn't say this, they shouldn't say that. Then women start coming out of the wearing woodwork. He did this to me, all because someone asked for help. I asked for help for the game. I didn't ask for help for my pockets. I didn't ask for help for this. I asked for help in the game, input in the game. Can we get some players? And I swear, I pray for what it's worth. I pray that the Seahawks don't go nowhere. Just because it's Pete Carroll talking that shit and the wholesale Seahawks organization. So we'll see what happens, though. But I just want to hit y'all with that tidbit. But even with that Nate Hackett stuff, that might have been a false story. Somewhere in them circles, no, somebody felt that way. And the consensus of people feel that way about that whole situation. Feel that way about that whole situation. If I'm bullshitting, leave it down in the comments. But I know I'm right. I tell you guys all the time, numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. Also, there's no greatest of all time as long as time's still going on. You guys have a good one.